Okay, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm just gonna say that I do not like Peacemaker. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna feel indifferent about it because they're on a James Gunn high right now, especially after the success of Superman, which I love Superman as well. It's one of my favorite movies that have come out this year, and it's also objectively one of the best movies that came out this year. But that's not gonna stop me from being honest about my opinion. But back to the show Peacemaker, I feel like for me personally, this show was already set up to fail for me personally because it's made up of so many elements of things that I'm already not interested in. Number one, I feel like I'm not really into Peacemaker because it's way too white American for me. And before y'all come in my comment section, I understand that is the entire point of his character. And yes, the entire point of this show is also the same reason why I cannot get into this show. Now, I understand that this show taps into the themes of racism, toxic masculinity, violence, drug abuse, and sex addiction. I understand all of that. But again, it's too white American for me to just sit here and be like, oh, okay, I could relate to this. Because as a black man, I cannot. And please take that with a grain of salt because I'm not saying that on the basis of you have to relate to everything you watch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for me, as a black man living in America, especially in today's time, if you're gonna tell a story about racism, I would like for somebody other than a white man to be at the forefront of that story. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what James Gunn is doing is wrong, because if you ask me, objectively speaking, this is a great show, and it's very brilliant what James Gunn does with comedy. But if you ask me what my favorite TV shows that have come out in 2025 so far, Peacemaker is just not going to be on that list. Now, speaking of comedy, the second reason why I don't like this show is because it's a comedy. Again, there's nothing wrong with comedy, just me personally. I'm not into comedy, so obviously there's already that natural bias when going into the show. Now, I still watch comedy TV show and comedy movies because just because I don't like comedy, that doesn't mean I'm gonna write it off completely. And on top of that, Peacemaker is a larger cinematic universe, so I feel like if I don't watch this, there's gonna be a lot of details and nuances that I'm gonna be missing for future DCU projects. But again, there's nothing wrong with this show. It's just me personally. It's just not my cup of tea. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm wholeheartedly going to admit that this is objectively a good show. But again, my personal preference, it's just not my cup of tea. For God's sake, my favorite TV show of all time is Mr. Robot. Like, that should say a lot about my taste in TV shows. So, of course, this type of TV show is not going to be my cup of tea. Plus, there's, a major hypocrisy when it comes to how well received this show is. But that's a conversation for a different